STP. Hello guys and welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kix. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the Shinhan Tank Pro League. We're going to have two matches for you today. To start us off with, we're going to have Red versus Clan Revolution, and then we're going to have SouL Gaming versus iRk. This is the format, if you've not seen it before, best of 5 all the way through. With all the games played regardless of the outcome. Set 1 to 4 is the lineups, essentially is the main match. The lineup selected in advance and all the games are played at the same time. And set 5, if we make it to it, if the teams tie up 2 to 2, is the ace match, which means every player can compete again. We've got 6 brand new maps for this season, 2 returning maps from season 1. And overall, I think today could be, I mean, I don't want to say for sure because I don't technically know. But I like to think that today should be a relatively good day for STPL. It's been since Wednesday since we last casted. Wednesday's cast was really good. It was a short one because we only had one series. But essentially we had some really good games. So if you missed that, you can check the VOD out on YouTube. I'm also streaming on YouTube at the same time, which I'm not sure if I'm technically allowed to do. But given Twitch never given Twitch never gives me quality options. It's the only way I can make it so everyone can actually watch the stream. So there we go. Today we're going to have those two the two matchups I said before. It's going to be SouL versus iRk second and ReD versus ReV first. Now ReD and ReV, they've got a kind of a little bit of a rivalry. They are two mainly European teams. I think ReD aren't entirely European. Are ReV entirely European? I think they might be. But basically, both of them very, very cool teams. They're not the strongest in the STPL by far, but they have some very cool, very fun players to watch on them. And as always, we have pretty much one of the oldest players still left in Brood War playing in Eriador. So let's head on over, have a look at the two teams. Starting us off here is going to be ReD. ReD are a relatively strong team. They're doing pretty well. Well, they've not done great so far in this season, but overall in the STPL they've done pretty well. They're around 50% overall, which is definitely not easy to do given the strength of the teams. They have played ReV 3 times. They've won twice, lost once. And yeah, okay. Like they're friend clans, but technically they're rivals in the STPL. They've fought against each other 3 times. It's fine. All the people in ReD in chat are like, all the people in ReD are like, no, we're not rivals, we're friends. We love them. You can be friends and enemies at the same time. Like, you're not going to go in not wanting to win because you want your friends to win. You go into the clan war, you want to win, and that's it. But yeah, ReD, a pretty strong team. We've got a strong lineup from them today. We've got MasterReY, who is Trutacz. If you remember him from previous seasons, he did change his name ages ago, but it was never updated in the STPL for some reason. Best from South Korea, who is Trutacz, but not the best that everyone knows. We've got LML, obviously the captain for this season. He's done really, really well recently in the STPL and everything. He has lost his last 4 games, but he's been up against some very strong opponents. And then, of course, we have Liquid Eriador, aka, ReD Eriador, aka Liquid Drone, one of the grandfathers of Foreign Brood War. So it's all good. And also, ReD T45, if you've watched as much anime as I have, everyone knows your closest friend is your rival. That's how it works. That's how it works in real life. Everyone hates their friends, basically, but you get on with each other, because that's how it works, you know? Let's have a look at their opponent. It is going to be Clan Revolution. Clan Revolution playing once again 3 of their newer players. Thug actually being added last week. He is a Romanian Protoss, because they're adding a new Protoss. But that's all good. Aeternum, a pretty good Protoss player as well, winning 2 of their last 3 matches. Hirmu finally beat his loss streak that was really starting to get really long. He beat it last week. He won his first game in, I think, 10 games or something. And he did it in a really good way. So I'm hoping we get to see him do well today up against... who was third for ReD? I think it was it Eriador Hirmu played against? It was LML. So he is going to be playing against LML. So we're actually going to captain face off. Because Hirmu is acting captain of ReV. LML is acting captain of ReD. And then we have VIR. And I still forgot where he actually comes from, so he doesn't have a flag. But that's all well and good. Let's have a look at the lineups we're going to have in our first matchup. Okay, LML pointing out he's not acting as captain in STPL and BWCL. Fair enough. Doesn't make a difference. You were captain in Season 3, so it's all good. We've got MasterReY versus Thug. Wait, is this a PvT? Why did I write PvP? No, it is a PvP. Why is Thug written down as a Terran player? Well, I'm going to be reloading the overlay in a second, so hopefully you guys don't mind waiting around, but it's all well and good. We're going to have a PvP in Game 1, PvP in Game 2, Best versus Aeternum. LML versus Hirmu is going to be a PvZ, and then we're going to have another PvZ to finish off. Now, ReD needs some more races. They're nothing but Protoss. All Protoss all the time is what I'm seeing here. What we'll do is we'll go with Thug being a Terran, and then before we add the stuff to the database, I'll update it. But either way, doing pretty well so far. Looks like it's going to be a fun matchup. Looking forward to getting into it. Hopefully we have some longer games, but I get the feeling we'll have some short games in this series. Usually Eriador's games go on quite long though. Starting us off, we are going to have Hirmu, aka MasterReY, aka Hirmu. He did pretty well in the STPL in his last 10 games. He hasn't really played, well, he's not played at all so far in Season 4, but you'll notice that he did okay in his Season 3 games. He did play last against Dewalt and lost in a PvP, but that doesn't really, you look at his PvP stats, right? Okay, I can't see his PvP stats. He doesn't do as well against Terran, but PvP, he's lost his last 3 PvPs, but then you look who they're against, the Yeti, Bonnet, and Dewalt, which are 3 of the best PvP players in STPL, so that's how that goes. It happens. Thug, a brand new player, he is Protoss, not Terran. But let's have a look at the map stats as well. So the map stats, we're going into Charmander, that we can ignore the PvT stats. This is going to be our first PvP on this map, which is probably, I'd say a miracle actually, because it's not often we don't get a PvP in like one day, so it's all well and good. Let's get into game number 1. It's MasterReY versus Thug, and it's here on Charmander. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have fighting for red. Sorry, is this, yeah, this is fighting for red, it's MasterReY. And spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, fighting for ReV, who did sub in last minute, so I don't think he was 100% sure of how the rules worked on like best of 1, best of 3 and whatnot. He's probably not given them a read yet. It is going to be Thug fighting for ReV. Now it is going to be PvP. We have had a lot of PvPs throughout STPL history. One of the things I want to do is check, basically check to see whether or not we actually have, what I want to do, sorry, is I want to use the stats to figure out how many of each matchup we've had. I'll probably do that at the end of Season 4, because I feel like compared to every other matchup, PvP is probably the one we've had the most. PvZ, I think, is probably second, if not first, but PvP is up there. I would say it's probably ZvP, then PvP, then ZvZ, probably. It's a little bit of a shame, but we do have a lot of Protoss players in the foreign scene, so it happens, you know? It's just one of those things you have to deal with. LML pointing out in chat that apparently 50% of ladder players are all Protoss. Wow, 50% of players, they have no dignity. That's how it is. We definitely need more Terran players. We need some more Terran players in here, but I don't know. Recently, there's been a lot more Terrans being added to STPL, which is kind of cool. I'm really glad we may finally get some more Terran players. It's one of those things that kind of important. Now we do have both players going for 2 gates, so this could be a very, very fast game. I've been trying to fix the overlay while this has been happening, but by the time I can do this, it's possible that both players will get their zealots to each other's base. So I'm kind of a little bit worried I'm not going to be able to do this in time. We've got the first zealot killing the scouting probe. There is a mana pylon being put up there. It's not the biggest deal in this matchup to get mana pyloned, but there we go. He's just going to be whiling away at that for a little bit. Just while that happens, I'm just quickly clicking this in. Neither player being aggressive with their zealots at the moment. No proxy pylon over the subtle map core coming up for Thug. So Thug knows now that given the fact that that MasterReY is doing what he's doing, they've both got They've both got 2 gateways, and neither player is being aggressive with their zealots. They can kind of sit back and go into dragoons and take it into a longer game. So there we go. I'm actually going to make this red versus blue just because the green and the white are okay, but it kind of feels like they're a little bit close, especially on the units. So I'm glad we did it top versus bottom. Game sound. Is the game sound not playing again? There we go. Sorry, guys. It's working now. Thank you for atting me. Sorry for not noticing that sooner. I was too busy looking at my overlay trying to fix it. Hopefully that'll be the last time that happens. Now, LML gonna be... Oh, sorry, MasterReY. I keep saying LML. I don't know why. He's actually going to take the back door into the main base here, and Thug does not realize this. Yes, he does. He gets in position to defend. This is one of the interesting, like, map architecture map features. An interesting bit of map architecture. I've forgotten how to speak today. That's it. I think we're done. I think the cast is over already. I don't know how to speak English. And that's, I can't use it as an excuse that I've been speaking another language. It's just me being an idiot. It's all good. We've got 2 dragoons at the top of the ramp here. This should make it a little bit easier to defend. LML should probably look at getting his zealot out, but look at this move by Thug. Gonna move in. MasterReY, damn it. MasterReY. MasterReY gonna move in behind with his... No. Thug gonna move in behind MasterReY's zealots with his dragoon. And that means he's going to clear all of the zealots, with the zealots getting on top of his dragoons here, and they're doing a lot of damage. Of course, there's no reinforcing dragoons coming in from here. MasterReY did rely on nothing but zealots, so with a few more dragoons coming in, he should be able to clean this out. But another dragoon going down, and this is definitely a big win here for MasterReY. As he pushes into the main, another dragoon actually taking a lot of damage. He needs to pull this back. He doesn't want to be taking hull damage on those dragoons. And that zealot getting an absolute assassin shot right there. Now the other zealot going to go down, going to kill a probe first. Legit caught, this is the first game. You've tuned in just in time. Observatory coming up here for Thug. I'm not doing very well with names whatsoever today. I'm just going to start calling people red and blue. That's it. I mean, it kind of works as long as all the red players spawn as red. If they don't, I might be in trouble. It looks like Thug wants to move out on the middle of the map with his dragoons to see if he can find some damage. He shouldn't really be able to, but we've got MasterReY taking out the temple, which means he's going to get an easy to defend third base, but could also use that to get a very quick natural expansion, very quick double. And looks like Thug gonna read the room, gonna pull back, knowing that he shouldn't really be able to get in there whatsoever. Thug is on 3 gateways, which means he has a lot of production potential. But of course, MasterReY is up there as well. Now, Thug does have a robo. The observatory is coming in much later, given the fact he went for an earlier gateway. But even so, Thug is actually behind in supply. He's down 7 supply now. 5 of that is in probes. Well, 1 of that is in a zealot or 2, most likely. Yeah, MasterReY definitely adding on a few zealots. He's also got this observer as well. Next is coming in here on the place of the temple. Now, this is only... It's only essentially like a half base, kind of. It's not a super rich base, and the reason for that is it is so easy to defend. But MasterReY definitely making the right decision here. He's getting himself ahead. He's not really worried too much about what's going on in his opponent's base, because he is pretty much secure on his 2 bases. Like, how does Thug ever break up these 2 ramps? I don't think he can. But it looks like he might be thinking about it. He's moving forward. Now, is Thug saving up for a Nexus? Or is he going to go into ReV or something like that? It does surprise me that we've got no tech whatsoever, minus that observatory that's only just come in. Especially if he's not going to expand. But we're up at 400 minerals now. Is he going to send a probe out? Yes, he is. So he is sending out the probe, but he's taking the front natural, which means if MasterReY can get a big counterattack going, he could do a lot of damage here. MasterReY doing a pretty good job with those scouting pylons, just making sure you'll be able to see if a shuttle comes in. If he's attentive enough, he'll be able to see if an observer comes in as well. He has sent his observer. Oh, sorry, that's Thug's observer coming in. No support mate for either player. 2 gateways being added on for MasterReY though after he gets his second base up. We do have that Nexus on the way. Eon Zerg is not in either of our matchups today. He didn't play for Naz this week either, so... If you want to see who is playing each week, by the way, there is a thread on Team Liquid with all the information. You can check who played in the previous 2 days as well. And all the VODs are available on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/STPL. STPL TV, sorry. STPL is Twitch. And I've also added chapters, so if you want to see a specific game, you can check the VODs and then click the chapter for the game you want to watch. Chapters are very, very good. Probably one of the only good things YouTube's ever actually added. Now, looks like Thug is getting ready to take his third base eventually. Now, the ironic thing about the position of taking the earlier natural, it is a mineral-only base, so you don't get any gas from it. So it does mean you can get a few more zealots a little bit quicker, a few more gateways, and you can get your third nexus faster. But by sitting back and defending so much, Thug has actually got a pretty good contain going on. Like, if we zoom out here, I did say that Thug is in no way going to be able to push up. Now, how is MasterReY going to push down? This is going to be so difficult. And yeah, there is, of course, fewer minerals at the LML base. Not the LML base, the backyard base. Why do I keep saying your name, LML? Get out of my head! Is this some weird kind of telepathy? I'm losing my mind today, that's it. I can't think of anything but LML. I'm just gonna cast like I'm Carbuncle from Puyo Puyo. I'm just gonna say LML 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 LML. Free the Dodal LML 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 LML. Okay, we do have a support bay finally here for one of our players. We do have a Citadel for MasterReY, so he is going to be going into a Templar Archives after this. But both players kind of just sitting back, not really... Well, I say sitting back. I mean, Thug is sitting back as, like, close to his opponent as he possibly can. But I don't think we're going to see MasterReY try and break out of this anytime soon, because there's absolutely no reason for it. We've got Thug getting ready to take his third base at the mineral only. Oh, looks like MasterReY is actually going to try and break down the ramp. This is actually a significantly larger number of units here for MasterReY. And the Zealot's soaking up so much of this damage. No micro coming in at all here from Thug. And I think MasterReY is just going to completely demolish this army. And once he's killed that army, I mean, let's look at the supply advantage now. He's up 30 supply, 40 supply even. I think he's just going to push and end the game now. Unfortunately for ReV, I think Thug is going to lose his debut game here. And I'm not really sure there's too much else he can do here, because, I mean, look at the size of this army from MasterReY stretching across the map. There's more and more reinforcements going to be coming in behind this as well, off of these seven gateways. Now, of course, the technological advantage here will be for Thug, so if he can get really lucky with his Reaver shots, maybe he can make it work. But oh my god, the shuttle goes down, the Reaver falls out the shuttle here, and the Reaver's going to go down. And I think with that, we're going to have the fall of Thug here. Unfortunately, the Thug life didn't pay off in this game. Sitting too close to your opponent's base ends up getting you killed. And yeah, there we go. Looks like Thug is pulling his probes to try and help the Zealot, or the Dragoons, against the Zealots. But this is just round one of this attack. Thug never got his third base, whereas MasterReY has got his third base coming up. MasterReY actually pulling back, so Thug technically holds on. but at what cost? He's going to lose his Forge, which has not finished his upgrade. MasterReY does have +1 finish ready. Now, Thug is going to push Horatoss away, MasterReY away. I mean, look how many units he's got back at home. He's up 12 probes. He's up 30 supply. I mean, the supply advantage has dropped. There is, of course, a Reaver here as well, which will help. The Thug is still in this. Well, they're saying that Thug is still in this makes me feel like if MasterReY had just pushed with all of his units, the game would have ended. People in chat say, or red, blue, green in chat saying LML came up with his ID by smashing his hand on his keyboard. And then he said, yeah, smash his keyboard only hits 3 keys. He's only got really small hands. That's the problem. And you know what they say, small hands. Yeah, small gloves. Braino Jack got it. Got it? I think I've officially lost it today. Now, MasterReY has been reinforcing with a lot of zealots here. The lack of second gas has really been causing him some problems. And I mean, this is essentially Dragoons and Reavers against Dragoons and Zealots. And I think the Reavers should actually win this engagement, as long as he can actually drop the Reavers out the shuttle, which he couldn't do there. It is going to be hard for Thug to push across this, but here comes the sandwich. MasterReY coming in from 3 angles now, actually. Going to be coming from the top, bottom, and the side as well. And this is a perfect surround here on all of Thug's units. Zealots getting on top of the Reavers, the final Reaver getting picked up in the shuttle, but look at the size of MasterReY's army. He's up 70 supply now. The shuttle goes down, the Reaver goes down, and GG, so does Thug. And MasterReY takes game number 1.
Mission 2, start. Thank you. Laser gun. Thank you. Thank you. Iron Lizard. Shotgun. Thank you.
Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL Season 4. We have Red versus ReV, we've got Best versus Aeternum, and we are going to be heading in to Paradise. Paradise, one of our newer maps made by Gosomi, one of the Korean map makers. Charmander was made by Minerals, I don't think I said that before. We've only had one PvP here so far. It was a relatively short game, so I get the feeling we'll probably get another short game here. PvP often goes short anyway. But let's get into game number 2. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the yellow Trutacz player fighting for red. It's Best. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner in the silver, fighting for ReV. It's Aeternum. Loads of people still screaming for like free the Dewalt in chat. I can't believe it. This is some kind of a boycott going on here with the STPL. People keep saying free the Dewalt over and over again. It's starting to lose all meaning. As Obama said, you shouldn't use like catch-all terms like free the Dewalt because it dilutes your point. But it is a PvP. We have both players building their pylon and their gateway in their main base, so I get the feeling this is going to be a relatively standard, relatively mirror, as it is. We do have a faster scout coming out from Best. Looks like Aeternum possibly going to go for a second gateway here, given the fact he has waited. No, he's actually going to enter the gas and then scout. So gas scout for Aeternum, gateway scout for Best, but at the end of the day, it looks like they both get the same buildings at the same time anyway. And the earlier scout isn't going to really make too much of a difference. It's good to check if your opponent's going for a proxy, which you can do when you get into the base, but it's also good to check if there's a second gateway. But realistically, neither player is doing anything that's over the top weird. We do have a core coming in for Best a little bit sooner than the core is for Aeternum, so Aeternum, oh, that's because Aeternum went for the ZeLoT, meanwhile Best went for the core first. Yeah, this is the fake Best, or it's technically the real Best, but it's a different Best. But we have had the real Best play in the STPL before, which it makes it so confusing. Korean players need to pick IDs that aren't the same as someone else. But in Korea, your like gaming ID doesn't really matter too much, which is why pro gamers change them so often. Because everyone knows you by your real name if you're a pro gamer, so it doesn't really bother them what their ID is. And that's how you end up with people called like Peach or Gab and stuff like that. Okay, so the first Dragoon going to chase away the probe. Looks like the probe for Best is going to be hiding over here. I wonder if Best is going to go for a proxy. Looks like he is. So I'm assuming this is going to be a proxy rover, but it could realistically be... No, it's proxy DTs. Oh man, proxy DTs on this map is very effective. We've got an Aeternum. I thought he was waiting to go for an expansion, but there's actually 2 ZeLoTs up there. Now there is a robo coming in. If Aeternum can get observers fast enough, he should be able to defend against this. It's likely we're going to have 2 gateways coming down here from Best, or maybe just 1. But 2 is usually more common in PvP. Yeah, there we go. 2 proxy gateways to build 2 DTs at the same time. Templar Archives coming in after this as well. and there is going to be absolutely no way that Aeternum is going to be able to scout this. I mean, he could technically send his probe to check this, but he's not going to be able to check the temper archives. But if he sees the gateways, he should know. Let's keep an eye on his vision. He sees the probe and he sees the gateway. Great scouting down here by Aeternum. Now he knows there's two gateways, but he won't know it's DTs. Although realistically, when you see this, it's going to be DTs. But this is a very, very nice scout. Checking down here may have just won him the game. We should see him put down his observatory immediately. He's gone for another gateway first. Where's the observatory? He needs the observatory like right now. The observatory matters more than anything else in the game right now. Another gateway. Oh no, I think he's misreading the situation. I think he thinks he can get there before the DTs are done. I mean, the observatory does build quickly, but he's building it after the... Oh no. Oh my god, can he do this? Oh my god, this is close. Is he going to be able to block the DTs from coming out? Yes, he is. He blocks the DTs from coming out, and this is massive. Oh my goodness, Best getting caught off guard here, going for a cheeky build, it getting scouted, and perfectly countered. Now the rush isn't over. He does have a DT coming out from his main, but Aeternum, by the time this comes over here, should have his observer. His observer is almost finished. Two zealots pushing in against this. Aeternum's units rushing back home as well. Now he should really kill these gateways with the zealot, but he's got it on patrol at the moment, I think. Two zealots getting into the main. The observer is just about popping out here, and he should be able to hold this. And I think as soon as Best loses first DT here, he might quit, because I don't know how you're ever gonna come back from this. And this is going to tie the series up 1-1 most likely. But here we go, the probe coming up to expand. He has... Oh my god, he's moving... Wait, where's his observer? His observer's in his main base. Oh no, the units have left! The observer's leaving as well. There's double observers, both of them going to the same place. And Best is getting into the main. Aeternum is going for a counter. He was not expecting a DT running in from the main base. Oh my goodness. What a time to run away. The probes have been pulled. But his observer, he's got one back here now, but he's got no units. Okay, that's 8 probe kills already. We've got the rest of the army, though, heading towards his base. He's got an observer up here as well, so any secondary DTs should go down here. Looks like this one is going to go down immediately. Now, does Best even have the amount of units to defend against these units over here? Looks like the DT is still alive, still on 8 kills. But we do have some Dragoons finally to help defend against this. But the real story is this over here. Big engagement at the front of Best base. And Aeternum has a very big army here. And it looks like it could be a little bit too much. If he can get on top of this pylon, that is all of the gateways unpowered. And there should be enough Dragoons here that he can actually hold on. The DT does manage to survive. It does kill a Dragoon. And it's going to try and come in again. The Observer's left. Wait, where's the Observer? Why can't I see it? I am blind. Okay, well, the gateways are under fire. He doesn't actually target the pylon. He's not target firing well. So Best is going to get a load of zealots out here, which should be enough to maybe hold on to this. The DT has gone down. A second pylon being added immediately because he notices how weak that is. GG, Best taps out. And Aeternum wins game number 2.
Select your trigger hard.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 3 here between LML and Hirmu. This is going to be on Pathfinder. Now LML, this is his strongest matchup in the STPL, and I can finally say the right name because in game 1 I was saying this. It is going to be our first non-PvP as well, which is exciting in amongst itself given the fact we did have so many PvPs leading up to this. But ZvP on Pathfinder, pretty fun matchup, lots and lots of cool games have been had here. Kingdom versus Hejek was a very important one, where Hejek essentially gave the victory for Ash over Naz for their first time in 6 series, which was very, very good for them. Other than that, we've had we've had perfectly even score, 3-3 in ZvP. We've not had too many games here, especially not many in Season 2, but really, really cool to be able to get in here as we get into game number 3. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom left-hand corner, fighting for red. It's going to be LML. And his opponent spawning off down here in the bottom right-hand corner in the red, fighting for ReV. It's Hirmu. Now, unfortunately for Hirmu, his ZvP is not his best matchup. He's only got a 26% win rate over 15 games, but he often gets put up against some very, very strong opponents. The last time Red and ReV played each other, Hirmu did actually lose to Red. He lost to Fisheye on Core Breach in Season 3. That was just under 6 months ago, which is pretty cool. Now LML not acting as the ReV captain, the Red captain even, but still, he's been pretty much one of their star players along with Eriador for a very, very long time now. Fake Finn has been the captain for Season 3 and Season 4, and apparently, Season 1 and Season 2 were Red Warrior, but Red Warrior stepped back. He has fallen into the world of Doom, and he is ripping and tearing until he is done. And then eventually he'll come back and play Brood War, but for now he is dooming it up, I think. I don't know exactly what Warrior's up to these days, but I know he does stream Doom, and he's pretty good at it, so go check out his stream. Now, we do have an overpull, a 9 pull actually. No, sorry, that was a 9 hatch into a 9 pull for Hirmu, so he's going for a little bit of an aggressive opening here. Apparently Warrior is streaming Doom right now. I didn't even realize. But yeah, he speedruns Doom, right? I think he speedruns Doom. I think I was watching him speedrun it before. It'd be cool to see Red Warrior turn up at GDQ, and then he could use the red logo, and then everyone will tell him not to use it, because it's a giant cartoon penis. I don't know why I just made myself laugh there, that was really bad. I think I'm actually just losing it. I think I'm just losing it this week. It's been a really busy week at work. It's all good. We did have a gate expand coming in for LML. No Forge just yet, so he's playing a little bit risky, especially given the fact he knows it was a 9 hatch. LML, Lucky Noob saying I lost it a long time ago. That is true, but some weeks at work I just lose it even more. Today was like the first semi-quiet day I had all week, and it was literally bliss. But looks like we are going to have a continuation of the wall here that's going to help him hold on to this while he's waiting. We've got a lot of Lings coming in, so Hirmu going for a Ling all in here. Now whether or not this is going to work is yet to be discovered. The probe going down in his main base. Hirmu going to try and break through the gateway. ZeLoT's starting to come out. He does get a surround on the first ZeLoT, but does pull away. Doesn't want to lose too many Zerglings. With the probe going down in the main base, a pretty big deal. He's no longer mining gas, so he's not going to transition out of this. He's not building any more drones either. There was a freeze frame right there when that drone popped. And it was like, yep, this is me. I guess you're wondering how I got into this situational record scratch, not freeze frame. But my face just like, oh my god. Okay, so he is going for drones, so he's realized this all in shouldn't be able to break through the wall, especially with the cannon finishing up as well. So all is not lost. He is going to be able to transition out of this into a macro play. He's macroed up enough gas to get a layer as well, so it's not the end of the world, but he is down on drones compared to where he maybe wants to be. But it is kind of useful to have this many Zerglings against a gateway first opening, just because you will eventually be facing a ZeLoT counterattack. We have a call coming up here over in the bottom left hand main, so we do have LML of course going for a macro play as well. He's probably going to go for a Stargate. Skipping Stargate on this map is incredibly dangerous, just because of the layout. Your kind of base is in the middle on an island, and then we have the Stargate coming in. It's not a complete island of course, but compared to like most bases that are in the corner or on the edge of the map, you're essentially kind of marooned in the middle of the map, so you have a lot of airspace around you that you can't really defend without anti-air, like without Corsairs. We do have Hirmu going for his third base. I feel like this hatchery might be off-center, but it's not the biggest deal. I think he may be like one hex too high up, but I can never tell because my judging of movement or my judging of space in anything is terrible. Citadel coming in, Templar Archives will be coming in straight after this. LML gonna add on another 2 gateways as well. Interestingly, gonna delay his... Is he gonna delay the Templar Archives by doing this? I guess he's delayed it a little bit. Okay, we do have the Spire coming in for Hirmu, so he's getting ready to go for some Scourge. He does have the option, if he does get the first Corsair, to go for some Mutalists as well. As I said before, Mutalists are very, very strong on this map. Would not surprise me whatsoever to see them. Now this is an interesting move. LML going to be moving a load of Zealots around the bottom side of the map here. He's going to go around the back and be able to get to the third base. The Templar Archives, very delayed here actually. He's lucky that Hirmu isn't going for Hydras because he could be in a lot of trouble. He's still not building it. I wonder why he's not building the Templar Archives yet. I mean, I guess he's had his Corsair scouting, but I kind of feel like getting Storm faster is better on most occasions. But here we go. The Zealots have gone in vision range of Hirmu's base here. He's going to jump on the hatchery. Now, interestingly enough, this is before Zealot speed is done. And there's not actually any units back here to defend this, so this hatchery is going to go down. Getting that hatchery is a pretty big deal. LML definitely in a very good position this game. I mean, he defended against the essentially all-in at the beginning. Well, aggressive play at the beginning, it's not really an all-in, which put him ahead, and then by taking out that hatchery, he is quite far ahead now. We've got Zealots being chased away and killed. But here we go, looks like he is going to come back in. Now the problem is going to be these Mutalists. This is what Hirmu was betting his money on. He spent all his money on Mutalists. That is why there wasn't any units back at home to defend. And is there going to be enough defense here against the Mutants back at home for the Protoss? Because we could have a very quick counter into a very quick victory here. Looks like we do have all of the Zealots in the main base going down, and I've forgotten how to speak again. We do have 2 cannons in the main base over here, which should help defend, but Hirmu really should go right this second. This is his timing. He cannot wait for any further units, for any further defense to come in. Templar Archives is done. He's going to be facing Archon soon as well. Storm is most likely finished by this point. But this is the big problem. Looks like the Mutalists are going to get in here. Looks like he did actually Scourge the first Corsair before, because there's only 2 Corsairs here now. And this means he is going to be free to do a lot of damage in the main base. A lot of the Mutants have actually gone down. This has been a risky play so far, but he is going to get all of the cannons The Corsair going to be coming back here. We've got an Archon at the front being taken down, but that Archon is definitely going to be causing a lot of trouble for these Mutalisks. He's going to have to control absolutely perfectly if he wants to be able to hold on to this. But he will be able to run a ring around this Archon. The SimCity is going to make it very hard for him to catch it. Looks like he's actually just going to focus it down. This is definitely an interesting choice. Archons do a ton of damage to these Mutalisks. But Hirmu looks like he may have done it, but back in the natural expansion, we do have 2 Zealots killing all of the drones. More Zealots are running in as well. And this is going to force the Mutalisks back home. But looks like Hirmu is just going to continue to try and find damage here. There's only a single cannon defending the natural, so if he goes, he could maybe make something happen. But without any defense back at home, Hirmu is on his last legs. He's going all in with his Mutalisks. He's not coming back to try and defend. He feels like he's already taken too much damage. But I get the feeling he is going to be losing the game here. Looks like the Zealots in the main base clearing up the final drones. It's 38 probes. 212 drones. The Archon going to force the Mutalisks away, and LML is going to be able to secure his main base again. Now the Zealots are, I mean, this lane got lucky, but there is still a Zealot in the base and there's nothing to defend it. Another, well, an Archon's actually coming over here to the natural. I don't think that was the same one that was chasing the Mutalisks, but you'll see how quickly everything is going to die here. Archons are so powerful, but nice split by Hirmu actually to get all of his Mutalisks as far away as possible. But this is the big problem. Another Archon coming in, 4 Zealots and a DT, and there is no further opportunity for damage in the main base here for Hirmu. 2 Corsairs already. The Stargate is still up. The Mutalisks are flying back, but he needs to defend his base. That is going to be the big question. He gets in, he finds the cannons, he finds the Corsairs, and some of these Mutalisks are heavily bruised from before. So if they both go down, I mean, we've got essentially Lings against Zealots, Archon, and a Dark Templar. Back at home, we do have some High Templar waiting. The Lings are going to try and go for an all-in here, but I don't think that's going to work out. The Mutalisks are all going down to 2 Corsairs as well. And looks like once again we're going to have a little bit of a base trade situation. Looks like Hirmu wants to get in, but he can't get through. GG, Hirmu taps out. And LML takes game number 3. Sorry. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be going into game number 4 between VIR and Eriador. If Eriador can win this game, he will be winning the series for Red, which they will be very happy with. But given how they're apparently such good friends, it's going to be a bittersweet victory because they know their opponent is going to have lost, which is very sad. Now we are going to be heading into Blindside. Blindside, one of my more, I think one of the more popular maps from Season 4 so far. It's led some really good games. Eriador versus, it was Tech versus Zero on this map. Was absolutely incredible. It was like it was like 30 minutes or so. And it was a very good map. This map is made by Minerals, who's in chat, who's X2 Trojan. But let's have a look at the game. It's game number 4. Okay, starting us off here in the top middle of your screen, we do have the blue Zerg player fighting for ReV. It is VIR. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom middle of the screen is going to be the red player fighting for Red. It's Eriador, aka Liquid Drone. So it is a PvZ, so another PvZ. PvZ definitely, well, okay, so essentially ReV have a lot of Zergs, and Red have a lot of Protoss players. So whenever Red and ReV meet up with each other, I think there's actually, there's like the smallest possible chance ever. And that is for a TvT. I don't think these two teams have ever had a TvT before. I'd be interested to find out if they did, but like ReV have had Medinho, and Red have red, blue, green. I can't think of the Terrans for either team. Medinho went to iRk now as well, so it's rough. Bradley, if you want to upload your picture into the database, you can. Just send it over to me. Oh yeah, Cryok, Ratatatateng. Oh, T45 is... I thought T45 was Protoss. Oh yeah, and there was Red last as well. I always remember him last for some reason. It's so weird. Well, to be honest, he's not... I think he retired after Season 1. I don't think he played in Season 2, did he? We got no game music again. Didn't press Control M. Bradley is saying he's going to take a picture of him with a doodle, and that'll be his picture so it can prove the doodle is free. I'd rather not have an unsolicited doodle pic, please. Unsolicited doodle pic, oh my god. Okay, we're gonna gate a double. This is actually a 2-gate, sorry, coming in from Eriador. So Eriador playing this incredibly aggressive. This is kind of the polar opposite of how Eriador usually plays. I know he said recently on FBW that since he started gateway expanding, he finds Forge Fast Expand very boring. So maybe that's why he's going to 2-gate now, because it's going to make the game a little bit faster. VIR, luckily enough, didn't go for a 12 hatch, went for a pool first. I think it was a overpool. So he is going to have some Zerglings to be able to defend against this. But Red Protoss players so far have shown they don't like hatcheries very much. Looks like the Zergling's going to try and engage on the ramp. A little bit hard for them to engage here, but they are going to be able to clean up most of the Zealots. But of course, these Lings that are going down are Lings that are not drones. We do have Eriador constantly building probes, so he's up to 19. He did just lose his scouting probe, but he is in a very, very good position here. Looks like Lings are going to come in for a counterattack. Eriador has pulled back. He knows that he's in a little bit of trouble. But Eriador's still in an okay spot. 4 Zealots is more than enough to deal with this many Zerglings. There are, of course, more Lings coming in. Looks like we've got a little bit of a Ling counter coming in. It looks like Eriador somehow snuck a single Zealot all the way over here. Now, he does have the option of running by these, but look at this. He's going to try and get an engagement around, a good surround on the Zealots. But Eriador doing a pretty good job microing so far. The Lings, a lot of them are falling. And we still have a Zerg on 9 drones. And this is not looking good for VIR. He tried to get some damage done. He's not been able to. And he is going to have to pivot here. Now, Eriador, of course, doesn't have an expansion yet. But he has a lot of Zealots. And if he keeps building up this Zealot count, he's going to be able to push again. And he is going to be able to expand. And VIR is not going to be able to do anything right here. Yeah, and Radley just brought up the Cheerfuls. I will start showing them off. I just need to remake the Cheerful show-off videos. That's the only reason why I've not done it yet. I'm hopefully going to do that this weekend. Because they're not that great at the moment, so I need to make them a little bit better. I want to do the Cheerfuls justice because people are putting so much work in them. And I've just noticed my preview of the stream is so far behind. I better not be using that to figure out when I need to do stuff. Luckily enough, I've got OBS running over the top of it as well. Yeah, and LML is saying people equals mostly Lucky Noob, and while that is true, there are other people making them as well. Rota has made a load, not that I can really show his because they're all Dodal ones. I know they're not all Dodal ones, I'm only kidding, Rota. It's a joke, but here we go. Looks like lots of Lings coming in. Eriador with a cannon, though. Going to be doing a lot of damage to these Lings from behind the Zealots. Getting a very good wall set up as well with the probes. And now VIR is on 8 drones against 40 supply. And I think this could be a little bit too much. Like, VIR has taken a lot of damage by just building Zerglings and not doing anything, so... Well, and them not doing anything. This is definitely the problem with ZvP. If you go for a very big Ling attack, if it doesn't do the damage you need it to do, you're kind of stuck going for Lings, and that is why we'll see no more drones. And this time I mean it. He is building nothing but Zerglings. He's not going for a lair. He has 3 hatcheries now, and he's hoping that with 3 hatcheries worth of Lings, he'll be able to break through. If your bust doesn't work the first time, it doesn't work the second time, will it work the third? That is what VIR wants to find now. Eriador with only a single cannon so far. We've got a second cannon coming in though, another pylon, which will help keep this walled off. And look at the number of Lings that are coming out of VIR's base here. VIR definitely looking to try and do a lot of damage here, but I don't know, this is a lot of Zealots. They don't have +1, of course. So it's not the end of the world. There is still, or +1 is on the way. Zealot speed is on the way, but the tech is delayed here for Eriador, of course. Like, the tech is not great for Eriador, but the thing is... Oh my god, I've just seen what he's done. Damn you, Eriador! Damn you, Eriador! Oh my goodness, he did this while he was playing as well. Here we go, looks like the Dodal gonna retract back into his base. It's got a little bit colder, and he has to fall back to his cannons because he can't just sit out there while the Lings are coming in. But yeah, it looks like he has held on to his base again. I cannot believe Eriador just did it. I can't believe it. It looks like LML wanted to try and do it as well. I cannot believe he did that. Oh my god, Eriador. But yeah, like VIR, he's still on 8 drones. You know what? The all-in didn't work the first 3 times. Let's try number 4. We're already too far in to give up now. The ZeLoTs have taken a lot of damage. So maybe if he can get enough lings. But I always feel like if he'd have just waited every single time until he had all of the lings, then maybe it would have been better. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be it. I think this is going to be it here. Oh, Last has turned up in chat. Wait, are we missing games? No, we're not. There's just no game sounds going on right now. That's so weird. Here we go. Looks like Eriador going to push out with his ZeLoTs. There is a lot of lings here. Imagine if they had like +1 carapace or something. Because right now he is up against +1 lings. Looks like he is going to try and come in here to see if he can break through. I think this is going to be the final engagement of the game. VIR unable to do any damage. Eriador's ZeLoTs standing strong. Blood everywhere. And that's going to be it. GG. VIR taps out. And Eriador takes the game for ReV. Okay, so that is the end of our first series of today. Red versus ReV has come to an end. MasterReY took down Thug in game number 1. Aeternum came back in game number 2 to keep the dream alive for ReV, but unfortunately, LML taking down Hirmu and Eriador taking down VIR, winning the series for Red there. So that's going to be Red's win on the board, and that is definitely going to be feeling good for them. I'm going to go for a quick break to get the overlay ready for set number 2, which is going to be SouL versus iRk. We have some incredible games coming up. You won't want to miss it after this.
Welcome to Victory Lane. You made it. Congratulations, you place first.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for series number 2 of today's STPL. We are going to have iRk versus SouL, 2 of the top teams in the STPL. Just to quickly go through the format: best of 5, all the games are played regardless of the outcome. Lineups are selected in advance, all games played at the same time. And set 5 is the ace match, which means all players can compete again. Now, we're going to quickly pop on over to the VR studio that I set up, which is kind of, well, I think it's kind of cool. Some people like it, some people don't. The jury is out, but I need to do like a different variation of this avatar as well to be more STPL themed. But here we go. Either way, we are going to have iRk versus SouL. Both of them incredibly strong teams. If there's a team in the STPL from Europe that can take down SouL, it's iRk. I'm incredibly excited to see what these two teams have going for us. It should be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that we should have a good match. But you can never be too sure, especially when SouL are involved, because their players are so unbelievably strong that you never know if anybody is going to be able to stand up to them. Now let's head on over to introduce both of our teams, and then we can go from there. So where are we? I should have got this ready before, but I forgot. And let's pop on over to introduce both of them. Okay, so starting us off here is going to be iRk, the strongest team in Europe, one of the strongest teams in the STPL. It's all kind of cool that we've got all these players here, because when you look at their lineup, they have got 3 of the best players in Europe right here, right now. They've got OyAji, Dewalt, and Trutacz, and vOddy doing pretty well for himself in the STPL as well. But he is more of an old school player who's just kind of coming back, so it's all really good. But either way, iRk very, very strong. Let's have a look at their opponents, and when you see this, you'll see why they're so strong. So in the top, or in their lineup, the only player who's lost a game recently is Scan. Everyone else has won all 4 of their last 4 games. We've got Scan starting them off. We've got Hero. We've got ZeLoT even, and we've got nOOB. Hero, if you don't know who that is, he used to be known as Sexy when he played for, I think it was Fox, and then he joined Team 8. So it's kind of cool to have him here. But SouL Gaming, they have won 57 matches and lost 4. SouL have lost to iRk before. That was back in Season 1 when SouL hadn't kind of reached their full potential yet. So it's kind of cool to see them and how they're going as well. So let's have a look at the lineups we've got. For once, I am in heaven. We have a TvT to start us off. It's going to be vOddy versus Scan. I think that's going to be good. We're going to have a PvT between OyAji and Hero. Another Terran matchup. After Red and ReV, I'm Terran deprived, so I'm glad we've got some Terrans here. Then we've got a PvZ in Dewalt versus ZeLoT. And then we've got a ZvP with Trutacz and nOOB. Now, this is the first series. One of the first series in the STPL where we've actually started with a TvT, and one of the only ones where the only mirror matchup we've had is a TvT as well. So let's have a look. Let's get in and introduce our first 2 players. Starting us off here is the rank number 2. Oh, sorry. Starting us off is going to be vOddy. He's ranked 77 in the STPL ELO rankings. He's got a 52 win rate overall, but against Terran, he has struggled. He's actually played against Scan before, and he did lose when they met last time. But this is going to be another chance, another way of coming into it. Poor vOddy, his last game in the STPL was in the STPL finals against Hero in a TvT. So vOddy's been up against some very, very awesome players. Hit him up and Ziggy as well in those last 4 games, along with Scan. So this is going to be vOddy's chance of going for some kind of revenge. Let's see if he can do it. His opponent, rank 2 in the STPL ELO rankings. He's very close to nOOB, with Kogut just below him. An 87% win rate overall over 47 games, and an 87% win rate against Terran over 16 games as well, which is really, really insane. Such a good player is Scan, and there's a damn good reason for a while he was banned for like all the foreign tournaments. He just won everything, but you know what? Scan is not unbeatable. He's lost 6 times. Can he win again? Or can he lose again? Let's find out. The map they're going to be going into is a map made by Minerals. It is going to be Charmander. We've not had a TvT here so far. We've had 1 PvP here so far as well. So I'm kind of glad we got a TvT. Really, really cool. I'm kind of glad we're going to get to see this. Let's jump into its game number 1. And it's vOddy versus Scan. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have in the 10 o'clock location, it's vOddy in the teal fighting for iRk. And starting us off down here in the bottom left-hand corner in the red, fighting for SouL, it's the one, the only, it's Scan, fighting for in the red. I don't know what, I think I nearly repeated everything I just said when I was introducing Scan here. But we've got a TvT, and what does TvT mean? I finally get to listen to the Terran music. I think the next game is going to be Protoss music again, because even though it's a PvT, I think we're probably going to get a Protoss theme, because we usually do. But the Terran music is so good, and I'll bring this up every damn time. The other music is good as well. Now, as I did mention, the last time these 2 players faced, They met in Season 3. Wait, was it Season 2 or Season 3 they met? Let's have a look. They met in Season 3. They actually met in June this year on Fantasy 2. Scan won that game. But could this be vOddy's chance at his revenge? In Korea, they used to have this show, which was like an offshoot of OSL, called like the Revenge Van. And this like van, which had 2 machines or the 2 PCs in, would drive around and they would like bring 2 players in, like that had some kind of rivalry to like make them fight in the Revenge Van. I'm wondering if this is kind of vOddy's Revenge Van here. Is he going to get a chance to come back at this? I'd be kind of interested to see if I can see the most. Bradley, I'm not sure if you'll be able to help me figure out a way to do this because I'm really bad with SQL queries. But I'd love to get an SQL query that would tell me who are the players who have played each other the most and who has the biggest rivalry. That'd be kind of cool. Bradley is probably about to say in chat, I will not help you until you free the Dodal. I can see it coming already. But TvT, we've got barracks in each other's, well, we've got barracks in the bases, we've got gas as well. So both players going for mirror builds at the moment. vOddy going to go for his factory a little bit quicker because he did skip the first marine. Looks like we've got Scan vOddy actually attempting to delay Scan's factory a little bit if he can. The SCV getting caught up here. He does need to leave the base with this. He doesn't want to lose his first SCV. That is definitely a big mistake if he does lose that. The second marine is not going to pop out in time, so the SCV should get away. Meanwhile, back in vOddy's base, we had Scan trying to do a little bit of scouting. He's not really going to be able to do too much damage, and Scan going to leave with his SCV essentially on full health. He's got his little yellow leggings on though. Now 2 marines for vOddy, lifts the barracks. We've got 2 marines for Scan, lifts the barracks as well. Usually in TvT, a lot of players will go for 3 because 3 is kind of the amount you need to kill a vulture or a wraith. But 2 is good enough. We've got Scan going for an in-base command center here, whereas vOddy is going for a starport. So vOddy going to play a little bit more aggressive, and that 3rd marine may actually have been very important for Scan to get if he's going to be up against wraiths. Bradley, you can race pick if you want, but it's really annoying and I'd rather you didn't. Also, no one, like, not being funny, no one wants to watch you play Protoss or Zerg. Everyone wants to watch your Terran. Radley saying he doesn't want to play, he wants to play PvT, so I never get Terran music. Okay, Lucky Noob coming up with not true, but that's because Lucky Noob would rather everyone played Zerg. If it was a ZvZ tournament, Lucky Noob would be happy. Yeah, and Castamere saying in chat, he's actually added a new Zerg player to SouL's roster. He's added SouL. So SouL, one of the old SKT Zergs, so that's kind of badass for me, given how much of an SKT fan I am. But really cool to have him, along with Shine and Soma. But I almost feel like SouL are kind of, I don't know, SouL are stacking their roster so much. I wonder if anyone is ever going to be able to beat them. Now we do have a draw. Oh, sorry, it is going to be a Wraith. It's going to be Cloak Wraith here coming in. Not pushing with the first Wraith immediately, so he is going to be holding off on that. He did go for Cloak first. Now, he does want to try and hide this from Scan. Now, Scan is not going to see the Wraith. He did move over there to try and catch if there was any Wraiths coming in, but he did see the command centers late, so he should know that a starport is up. His Marines are moving into a position to not only kill the barracks, but also kill the Wraith if he can. Now, the Wraith should actually just focus fire the Marines down. They could kill them. And without the Marines, oh, there is a Wraith coming in from Scan, so that was maybe a mistake. Oh, Cloak isn't done yet. He's trying to run away. Cloak has just finished. And here we go. Cloak coming in means he is going to be able to turn around and fight if he can get this first Wraith. He is going to be in a very good position. Obviously, Cloak is not going to last forever. Nice moving shot there by vOddy. Going to be able to take that down, and Scan is looking like he could be in a little bit of trouble here. The second Wraith going to be coming in. He can actually go and camp the starport, which isn't building a Wraith. He's got no anti-air right now, and yes, it takes Wraith a very long time to kill anything, and he's not actually building a Goliath either. Scan is going fully without any form of anti-air. He's got mines. vOddy's got mines back at home. Oh my god, Scan's gonna lose a tank. That is massive. Scan losing a tank there is huge. That is not the kind of mistake that Scan would normally make. But there is a Vulture here in the main base, or in the natural, doing a little bit of damage. A Marine coming out here as well, but we will have an SCV repairing this. At least I thought he was going to. But look, yeah, he is going to repair that. Now there is a single Vulture in the natural. The first Goliath is out as well, but as long as he uses his mines, he should be able to deal with that Goliath. Although nice job by Scan there to clean that up. But vOddy is in a very good position. If there's a position you want to be in TvT, it's this. Your Wraiths do a little bit of damage early on. They force a little bit of extra anti-air out, but we do have Scan going for the counter cloak. Going for counter cloak is a very interesting and very clever tactic, because usually your Terran opponent, if he's already got cloak, will not go for cloak they won't go for as quick detection. And that could be a big problem here for vOddy, because Scan is going to be hiding his Wraiths. He's not. No, he's not. He's actually going to just show them. He's just going to kill the barracks. He's going to make sure that vOddy can't build any more factories. And vOddy is still not building an armory. He's still not building any more starports, and he's still not building anything else. And that is going to be the problem. That is what's going to allow Scan back in the game. If vOddy cannot win the game with the Wraiths that he has, without detection, without units, I mean, he's going to expand towards his opponent. Like, this isn't... If he can defend this, it will be very good. But he doesn't have Scan. He's not going to be able to fight the Wraiths of his opponent. And he's got no anti-air that can shoot up. The only stuff that can shoot up is his Wraiths. And the Wraiths aren't going to be able to see anything. He lost his barracks, so no academy is possible. No engineering bay is up. He can't get any form of detection, and here we go. 3 Wraiths going to fly into the main base here. vOddy is going to have to tank this damage. He is going to have to sit there and wait for the cloak to run out, because he has no other option. Now this third base is obviously going to be pretty important here. The barracks is going to be able to go up, but it is going to be delayed a little bit by the Wraith. Looks like the armory is still not going up, so his upgrades are going to be behind. Looks like vOddy trying to get into a position to do some form of counter with his Vultures here, but they're not going to really do too much. Now we do have the Wraiths almost out of energy. Armory finally coming in at the natural, but +1 attack should be on the way by Scan already. No, he's actually skipping it, so maybe it's not as big of a deal. Scan does see the oh, he must have seen the expansion there, right? But he can't really afford to move his tanks from here, so vOddy's still in an okay spot. We've got vOddy coming in to the high ground. He does need to make sure he gets a siege up on the best place he could siege is probably here, because that covers both ramps. Looks like vOddy gonna... Oh, the tanks. Okay, he does scan, so he does see that coming in. Wraiths are not cloaking. They do have full cloak energy, though, so he should be able to deal with this. We've got siege mode coming up for Scan. No siege for vOddy just yet. So this base is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Looks like siege mode isn't quite done, about 2/3 of the way there. But this is a good move by vOddy. Going to come in behind, going to attack one of these tanks. Going to pull back as soon as Scan is done. Now there are the Vultures on the high ground, but he needs to defend. He needs to hold on, and he needs to get siege mode up. If he can siege, he's going to siege now. But is this too late? Looks like the tanks are going to try and target fire down some of the tanks at the front. These are very, very heavily clumped tanks, though. And with the Valkyrie coming in here as well, I think Scan may have just won the game. And that is what happens when you don't defend properly against Scan. When you skip upgrades, Scan will punish you. And GG, vOddy out of position, out of control, and out of this game. Scan wins game number 1. Okay, we'll be back in just a second with game number 2. Oop, I thought I muted, sorry. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 2 here between SouL and iRk. Starting us off for iRk, we have a crown winner here. 25 wins, 27 wins actually to his name. Oya, one of the best Protoss players in Europe at the moment. He's definitely, I would say, within the top 3. You've obviously got Bonneth and Dewalt as the top 2 seats. And then the kind of crown prince of Protoss is Oya right now. He's doing so well recently. He's got a really good win rate against Terran, and he has beaten Scan previously, as well as players like Koga, who's rank 3 in the STPL. So if anyone is going to have a good shot against his next opponent, it's going to be Oya. Oya is going to be facing against the We Made Fox Pro Gamer hero. He's also known as Sexy previously. He's won all 8 of his games so far, won all 3 of his TvPs so far, but we of course do have him against some of the, I wouldn't say bad players. He did beat Oya previously. I completely didn't realize that on Oya's stats, but that was his first game, and that was back in March last year. So once again, we have a chance for Oya, one of our iRk players, to get revenge on his opponent. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it. It's going to be on our second map made by Gasomi here. It is going to be Paradise. Paradise TvP on here has been pretty fun so far. Yeti versus Whip was a good game. nOOB versus Kiko. Kiko could have won, but he made a few strategic errors, giving nOOB the victory. How is this game going to go? I don't know. Let's find out. Without further ado, let's get into game number 2. And it's not by hero, it's a different hero. It's Sexy. He used to be on Fox and then Teammate, if I remember correctly. But either way, let's get into game 2. Yeah, there's actually 4 pro gamers called Hero, which makes it very confusing. You have the Zerg pro gamer by Hero, you have Hero Join, you have Team Liquid's Hero, who plays StarCraft 2 again, and you have this hero who used to be called Sexy, who's Terran. There's 2 Protoss heroes, 1 Zerg and 1 Terran. Just to make things awkward, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner in the blue, fighting for iRk, it's Oya. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner in the purple, fighting for SouL, it's Hero. And we did get Terran music. Hell yeah! We did it! We did it, guys. We got the Terran music for a change. It'd be really good if they, like, I mean, I don't think they're going to add any more features anymore. I don't know. But it feels like they're not going to add any more features because it doesn't feel like there's been an update in forever. But basically, it'd be really good if one of the things they added was A, moving this unit bar to the right-hand side, and B, giving the option of choosing what music you had in game when you're when you create the lobby. If you could pick the song, that'd be really good. And if you could pick like a themed overlay as well for the races, that'd be good as well. Terran overlay always used to be the best for observing, but obviously they've got the unified overlay now. Okay, we actually have Hero stopping a gas steal there, so he is going to delay his barracks just a little bit, which if he was planning on going for 1 Rack's fast expand, is not going to help him too much. Now, Oya actually going for a proxy pylon as well, which is going to hurt Hiro's economy even more. But he is going to be able to kill this, so he really should cancel this before it finishes. Oya knows what he's doing. But he's going to let it finish. So I guess he wants to waste more time. But at the end of the day, this is 75 minerals, so however much a pylon is that he's not going to get back. Back at home, he does have the forward gate coming in as well. So the first ZeLoT is going to be making its way over to the base. And oh my god, is he going to get the first SCV? Oh my god, the probe is so close to death. It looks like the SCV wants to repair, but the probe is going to get there first. Can he get the hit in? No, he can't. He's going to be falling back. He wants to get some shields. And this is a lot of pain, a lot of hassle. The hero to be dealing with. Looks like the probe is one hit away from killing the SCV again. Can he get it? Needs one more. Probe goes down though. 1 HP on the SCV. And hero gets incredibly lucky there. But the first ZeLoT is on the way. The first Marine has only just started, so this ZeLoT has a chance of doing some damage. Looks like Oya coming up here to push the SCV away from the gateway. Possibly go for an expansion. And no, he's not. He's going to go for his core in his main base. Gonna go for another ZeLoT. Looks like the first Marine does finish. Oh yeah, not really in a great position to do any damage here. Nice wall off. Nice SimCity here by Hero. Really showing... I mean, his SimCity here is quite nice, and it shows to me like he's actually prepared for the map. Because if you don't SimCity properly as Terran, you can just die. Admittedly, the SimCity for Terran in this case isn't too difficult, but he's thought about where to put his first factory. Like, if you put this depot too far forward, the mains on this base aren't actually that big, so it's going to be hard to fit other factories in. So he's thought about his building placement. Very, very important to do now. Oya getting ready with a second probe to go for a proxy up here in the top right-hand corner. It's either that or he's going to go for a hidden base. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Oya definitely been playing a little bit aggressive. This SCV has almost killed this gateway. This SCV is a Terran hero. If he kills the gateway, then this is going to be very, very devastating for Oya. I think if he loses the gateway to the SCV, he should just quit the game and just say GG. Because I don't think you can get past the mental block of knowing that you lost your gateway to an SCV. But looks like he is going to save it. Waited for the Dragoon to come out. Obviously this is very low on health, so if Hero pushed a little bit later with any units, that could go down. It looks like Hero is getting ready to push here. He's got 5 Marines. 6 Marines. But he's only going to go to the high ground, build his bunker, and then he's going to expand. So, no major push coming in. Hi Alphonse, good to see you here again, man. Okay, we're going to see tank first here by Hero. He's not going to... Well, he is going to go for mines, so he is going to go for like a bit of a delayed FD push. I mean, going for a push when you know your opponent's gateway is right there is really good, because if he can kill that gateway... That's realistically Oya's... Oh my god, Oya is doing what he did against Scan. Now against Scan, this won him the game. Is it going to win it? Is it going to win him the game against Hero? Because he's going to be building 1 gateway most likely over here. He could go for 2. And he is going to. Now, these gateways are far enough from Hero that he shouldn't be able to kill them quickly. That's the problem. Now, of course, Hero is going to expand. He knows there's Dragoons out the front here. Range is just finished. So the bunker is already under fire, but the Marines and the tanks going to come out here. The first ZeLoT going to run in. Now, the mines are being laid behind here. This is very, very good play by Hero. Makes it very difficult for the Protoss to go backwards. Looks like the second Vulture actually going to put a mine outside the gateway. That's definitely not something he wants. But oh my god, the mine on the Dragoons at the ramp. Going to kill one of them. And the Vulture's going to get in the main base. This is not looking good for Oya so far. We've got a big push coming in here from the middle of the map. This is 6 Marines still. And the tank. He's actually going to fall back though. Not going to play too aggressively. Only 2 probes been lost. And of course the real story is these DTs that are coming out. Do we have... any detection? We've got an engineering bay. Turrets coming up in the main. This is more an anti-Reaver turret, but we do have an anti-DT turret coming up at the natural, and of course we do have the 2 mines here. So I honestly feel with the fact that Oya knows there's mines out, he should seriously consider not going in with this. But this, as Elfunk points out as well, is definitely going to be a very scrappy game from here. This is the sort of game I love, because basically this game could go on for a while. Oh my god, the first DT going to sacrifice itself. Definitely not what he wants. I don't think there's a way he can push him with this DT. He's got 2 more remaining. He's going to try and get in. He's going to try and run past the bunker. But look at the tank blocking. But oh my god, the DT's actually getting to the base. Now they shouldn't be able to do too much damage. There is another turret here. He doesn't want to run into turret range. But he's going to be able to be very, very annoying. He's going to run it. Oh no, the mine. Oh, the mine positioning. So good. Gets both of the DTs. And OyA's rush. It's not done anything. The mine's too strong. Now it looks like OyA wants to push again. Now I'm not saying this is a mistake, but you definitely don't want to keep pushing. If it didn't work the first time, you're not going to be able to get in again and do any damage. Like, we've got a turret come up at the ramp as well. Like, these DTs are not going to get any damage, but if he could run up and somehow get to this mine and get it into the mineral line, that would be very good. He stops the depot coming up. Apparently this is not in turret range, which is really weird. But yeah, OyA going to be expanding behind this. I for some reason thought that was a nexus for getting the 2 gateways were there. But as I said before, due to the way the map splits and the way I think this is going to go, realistically OyA shouldn't worry about losing those gateways too soon. So he is going to have his production. He is going to be in an okay spot. Obviously he's going to want to go and expand. Looks like we're going to have Hero taking down the Lurker Egg. This does give you access to this backyard base. The backyard base is not perfect though. The minerals are incredibly open, and if you mine out these 250 mineral patches, your opponent can actually just run in and kill your base. But the main reason why Hero will be taking this is for the gas, and of course with tanks you can defend the mineral line, so that's pretty good. We've got OyA taking the mineral only rather than going for his backyard, so that's not going to be great for OyA at the very least, but he is going to be able to go for that for an early 4th as well. Now I do wonder if that's what he's going to do. He does glitch a probe through onto the mineral. He could have just gone and expanded there, but looks like he doesn't. Hero goes for a scan. Tries to see what's going on now. Of course, with the Templar Archives done, we could see OyA go for Storm. OyA doesn't really go for Storm very often, but I think Storm would be a very good choice with these proxy gateways because of this base. You can Storm, you can literally walk Templars up and storm this base. And obviously you can go for Arbiter as well. And I think that's probably more likely. We've got the Observatory coming up as well. That helps against the mines. Helps scout what your opponent's doing, which is very important in PvT. But no Stargate just yet. Another 2 gateways being added on. If you're going for this many gateways, I really think you should go for Storm. Like, obviously you need the gateways anyway, but if you just have Storm here, you've got the gas to do it. And you're going for a mineral only, so admittedly your gas is going to be super high, so going for Arbiter is a little bit risky. But Storm is just a strong spell in general. I mean, given the situation he's been in, it's hard to transition. Because of the fact his DT's failed. Hero going to push forward, he's going to secure his 3rd base back here, he's got the bunker and the siege tank. You notice that these are 50 minerals, so they're going to get mined out pretty soon, so you do need that to defend. Hero going for another scan on the DTs. Looks like OyA is kind of playing as if the... Oh my god, he ran that one in too early. That's really unfortunate. Can't force out another scan. The tank... Oh, he is going to try to. I don't really agree with this though. He's going to try and stop the turret coming up, but there we go. Another scan coming in. Does get a little bit of splash damage on, but that's 4 DTs that have died for free. Now we've got another scan coming in. This is obviously scans on those DTs that aren't used on other parts of the map, and he is going Storm. We do have OyA going for High Templar here, and because of the fact his Templar tech is proxied, it looks like Hero going to find the proxy as well. So these gateways are going to go down, which is a little bit unfortunate for OyA, but he's just been building stuff over here, so it's not a big deal. He really should look at possibly going for an Arbiter Tribunal now in his base, unless he's planning on going for Fleet Beacon, because he is most likely going to lose these. But when you notice This is quite a far position for Hero to have to go and attack. He's not going to go for it. He's likely going to take his 4th base. He's waiting to build his upgrades. Storm is only just now coming in. +2 attack, almost done here. No, +1 attack. Hero actually delayed his upgrades quite a bit, so OyA's in a good spot. OyA getting ready for his 4th base over here as well. We've got Dragoons on the high ground stopping Vultures running by. We've got Dragoons defending this ramp as well, which will stop Vultures running by there. The only place he's not watching is this small gap in the middle. And this means Vultures can actually run up to his 3rd base and do a load of damage. So he's going to have to block this ramp if he wants to make sure, because look at this. Hero, he sends his weakness. He is going to go through the middle. He scans the 3rd base. Looks like cannons are coming up, but OyA needs to pull these probes away, because all he has back at home is is ZeLoTs even. Looks like he's going to just sit his probes and take the damage. I guess he wants to kill the Vultures while they're busy, but that's a lot of probes to be losing. You definitely don't want that. This is unpowered Forge. It is a map feature. It blocks off this pathway back here that you can mine through. 4th base coming in here for Hero. Now, Hero's upgrades aren't great. +1 is only just now finishing at 13 minutes. But outside of that, Hero is doing well in every single way. His supply is pretty good. His work account is incredibly good as well. Now, OyA can still win. The game is not over. But it's going to be hard for OyA to win. Definitely putting up a good fight here, though, against an ex-pro is OyA, showing why he's one of the best Protoss players in Europe. But he needs to get the right units, and he needs to get them soon. Stargate coming in now on his 4th base. This is going to be most likely for Arbiter. Hero going for a scan, checking for a possible 4th up here. Doesn't find it just yet. Now, it looks like he... Oh my god, OyA, don't push in now. This is not what you want. This is not what you want. The Templar are not in a position to storm. The Vultures are mostly stuck behind, though. Nice storms on those tanks at the front. Does get some... Oh my god, that's some very nice storms. But this is all of OyA's units. He can't afford to do this, but if he can reset the tank count, he could still be okay. He's got a lot of gateways back at home. He does do a little bit of damage. He doesn't get the command center, but Hero's not going to be too worried about that. The main problem is going to be the supply. And look at the supply for Hero now. He's up by 40 supply. 20 of that is in workers, and 20 of that is in army. We've got more scans coming down. He sees the 4th base over here, and OyA has to move into a position to defend this. And he's mostly got ZeLoTs. He does clean up the mines. The Vultures aren't going to be able to get any damage done. And Hero lost enough tanks that he's not going to be able to push. Okay, the gateways have stopped producing over here in the top right. Looks like we do have that Vulture still. That's a good point. He had the Vulture here when he scanned this base. He's just scanned for another base up here. He thinks OyA has expanded everywhere, because realistically, that's what you would expect here. Now, we've got the Vultures pushing in. They do kill one of the Dragoons. It is +1 attack against +1 attack, but obviously upgrades scale a lot better for Terran. +2 attack about halfway done. +1 armor almost finished. Hero's getting in a position he can go for a counter. And look at the problem. So OyA's supply has essentially not moved since that engagement. Hero is almost maxed. Now, with Hero being maxed, it means he can push. And that is something that OyA isn't really in a position to defend against. Now, back home, we do have the Arbiter Tribunal done. The first upgrade should be done at this point. But he may not have started it. The first Arbiter isn't quite out yet. Now, OyA is doing an okay job of trying to defend his bases. He does manage to save his buildings up here, but he doesn't save the pylon, which is a problem. I don't sing Kangyo. Kongyo, even. Kongyo. That is such a weird national... I don't know if that's the national anthem or if that's just a meme, but... Kongyo is a weird song. But looks like we do have Oya breaking onto the high ground. This is a good place for him to be. Hero, of course, is going to be able to move his tanks up here, but the tanks at the front are going to go down. He should pull back, though. He can't afford to take this engagement. Oya has to pull back. Nice mine. No, the mine doesn't go off. Oya needs to pull back. He needs to have pulled back about a minute and a half ago there. At least that's what it feels like. And that means all of Oya's army is going to fall here. And I think that may be the move that could have lost Oya the game. He's done very well up until this point. But oh no, don't run into the mines! Oya needs to learn when to retreat from an engagement. Hero going up to his 5th base. He's not actually mined out these minerals yet, so he's not going to be able to. It looks like he's going to send this SCV to do it. But all of his SCVs are going to get caught in here until he mines that out, so he needs to send those manually. Now the ZeLoT does stop a possible expansion coming up here in the bottom left. Oya still has a pretty decent economy, but the problem is in the supplies. Look at the amount of units the hero has, and look at the lack of units we have from Oya. Zooming out here, this is probably going to be the last engagement of the game. Oya has stood valiantly here against Hero, but unfortunately, in the end of the game, he just threw away too many units. GG. Oya taps out. Then Hero wins game number 2. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number 3. Okay, starting us off here, we're going to be going into our 3rd map. It's going to be ZeLoT versus Dewalt. This should be a really, really sick matchup. It's going to be on Pathfinder. We had a ZvP on here just now, which was pretty good. Hirmu, unfortunately, unable to beat LML there. So we do have Zerg currently in the lead on this map. But this is going to be a tough matchup. We have Protoss in the lead on this map. This is definitely going to be a tough matchup for Dewalt, but Dewalt has really come into his own. He is such a good player these days. He's definitely one of the best players outside of South Korea, and honestly, one of the best Protoss players in the foreign scene in general. I mean, he's been that for a while, but he really is doing so well recently. It's so good to see Dewalt doing so well. And the other thing is, if just after this, well, it's not just after this, sorry, but on the 22nd of December, there is going to be a show match between Bonneth and Dewalt. So that should be a lot of fun. There's a thread on TL about it if you want to check it out. It's on December 22nd. It's hosted by Team ThinkQuick, and it looks like it's going to be pretty fun. The map pool is Charmander, Blindside, and Desert Dwellers. So we've got 3 of the STPL maps as well, which is really, really cool. Thank you, Team ThinkQuick, for arranging it as well. Obviously, Dewalt winning RCG 2020, Bonneth winning BSL Season 10, 2 absolute gods up against each other. But let's have a look at 2 of the gods in here. Of course, one of them is going to be Dewalt, the Miracle Protoss. The other one is going to be ZeLoT, one of the most aggressive Zerg players from South Korea. Let's head into it. It's game number 3. Okay, starting us off here in the top middle position, we do have the blue Protoss fighting for iRk. It's the Miracle Toss himself. It's Dewalt. Now, just to quickly explain Dewalt and why I call him the Miracle Toss, he has one of the best win rates in the STPL overall. He's won more games than anybody else. He's actually won 55 games. He's played 71 games overall. And he's won 55 of them, giving him a whopping 77% win rate. He's rank 4 in the STPL rankings. And he has come across some incredibly good players, and he's beat them. He did lose to ZeLoT before in the STPL Season 3 finals, but it was incredibly close, and that was on Hitchhiker. But he has played in a 25-minute macro game against Shine, another pro Zerg player who fights for SouL, and he won. And he's our first double crown winner in the STPL, which means he's got over 50 wins, which is very, very impressive. His opponent, spawning down here for SouL, is going to be ZeLoT in the red from South Korea. Obviously, Dewalt being Russian. ZeLoT, known as one of the best amateur Zerg players in South Korea. He is incredibly aggressive. He plays very aggressive styles. And we can already see from the overpool here that he is playing this a little bit more standard than maybe what we'd expect. But ZeLoT can play macro as well. It's not like all he can do is cheese. He got into the ASL, I think it was twice. But still, very, very good. Looks like Dewalt gonna play it safe, gonna go for a Forge Fast Expand, knowing how aggressive ZeLoT can be. Going Gate Expand can be incredibly difficult. It's very possible you'll go against a 4 pool. He's done that before in ZvP. He's gone for 7 pool, I think, at one point, and he also went for 9 pool in one of his games. Obviously, Dewalt going to know exactly what's going on, but there's already 4 Lings on the way. That's going to help chase away the probe, but Dewalt can't be certain that ZeLoT isn't going to be going for a Ling all in here, because ZeLoT is scouting around for proxies. He's not expanding. Looks like he's going to go for double hatchery at the same time. Hatchery at his natural. Hatchery at the third. Gas coming in. ZeLoT, or Dewalt should know what's going on here. But he will have to get at least 1 or 2 cannons. He's got his Nexus coming up already. Then the gateway. But double hatchery is coming in, of course, for ZeLoT. Dewalt doing a very good job keeping his probe alive. Only 1 cannon is risky, but he has seen the number of Zerglings. 1 cannon is easily defendable with a single... 4 Zerglings easily defendable with a single cannon. Dewalt going to be expanding now. He's got his probes heading on over there now. Is ZeLoT going to go for a 973? Nope. Well, possibly. He's going for a Hydra Den before Lair. He's only just started mining gas again, so his Lair is going to be a little bit far off for now. We've also seen ZeLoT, I think it was ZeLoT, went for 2 Hydra Dens one game. But wait, Dewalt's wall's not finished. Like, he doesn't have a ZeLoT to defend the wall. Looks like another pylon coming up here. Looks like the first zealot is going to come out, force the zerglings away from the gateway for now. Cannon slightly misplaced, but it does keep it a little bit safer against Hydra Bursts, so just can't defend the gateway, which is kind of annoying for Dewalt. But no lair yet, so this is going to be a Hydra Burst. Is Dewalt going to have what it takes to defend against it? That is the question. And what form of Hydra Burst is it going to be? Is it going to be super all-in? Is it going to be a macro Hydra Burst where you go into a quick fourth hatchery afterwards? That's the 973. Or is he just going to build a ton of Hydras and win the game? That is the question we all have. He's building a second cannon because he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't actually have a Stargate yet. That's not finished, so he's not going to know what's going on for a little bit. So, Citadel coming up first. Wait, no, Citadel coming up at the same time as Stargate, so he's going to be able to get Storm relatively quickly here. And we've actually got a Storm emote now, so I don't know if you guys actually like it. I took a screenshot of a High Templar as it was casting Storm, and I thought it looked cool. But then when you look at it emote size, I can't tell if it's any good. But the first Hydras are on their way across the map here, and these Hydras, they're going to just keep coming. They'll just keep coming. And somebody once told me the Zerg was going to roll the Protoss, so let's see if that's going to happen. Fourth cannon up. Dewalt definitely respecting his opponent, preparing for this to come in. There's 2 drones at the third base. There is 6 drones, so this is going to be a 9-7... No, this is a 10-6-2, so I don't think that's a thing, but... the Hydra is obviously going to be defended by the cannons for now. Now, the one problem, and the reason why... Wait, the cannon just missed. That is the luckiest Hydra in the world. 1 in 256 chance to miss, and it fails now. Oh my god, look at Dewalt. Dewalt going for proxy 2 gateway here. He doesn't want to get himself contained. The probes have been pulled as well to try and catch these Hydras. Very nicely done so far by Dewalt. Now the probes should go home. The probes need to start mining again. But these gateways are genius. I think everything has a miss chance. Even turrets I think could miss, although I'm not 100% sure. But I'm fairly certain that cannon just missed. Yeah, I moved away just as he attacked, I didn't realize, but the cannon's going to come up. +1 has not finished, it was cancelled. Did he even start +1? I didn't notice. But those 2 gateways are going to be very important. These cannons, the thing I was going to say before, is the issue that Protoss have against Zerg is they can never be sure how many cannons they need. And if you overbuild cannons, you put yourself incredibly far behind. Now, Storm may have just finished researching, but I think he's gone for 2 DTs here, and yes, he has. There's no Overlord here at this base, and he is not going to be he's not going to be expecting DTs to be able to come into his natural whatsoever. This is such a clever play by Dewalt. Going for these 2 gateways essentially means you cannot be contained, and here we go. He's going to run into the main. Oh my god, there's no Overlord in the main. He gets 1 of the drones, 2 of the drones, 3 of the drones, 4 of the drones. And the important thing is, he can get the Hydra in. The Overlord egg is being killed. It's going to take an age for the Overlord to get back here. And look at this, we've got 2 more DTs coming into the third base as well. Dewalt is in such a good position. He's going to kill the drone as it comes out as well. He actually kills it. He handed it out of existence there with his swipe. Now the Hydra Den is very close to going down. It's down now. The Hydra's going to be coming down here. Thank you, Aska, for the gift sub. Welcome, Steelix. You now get the cool STPL emotes. But the DT's alive in the main base, the third base. The hatchery goes down. And the Hydras are in not a position to attack. And Dewalt is in such an incredible position here. Another 2 DTs going to be coming into the natural. These should be defended. But a lot of the Hydras come out the main to be able to do this. 3 drones going down. It's 41 probes. 41 probes against 20 drones. The spawning pool is going to go down as well. And Dewalt with a proxy 2 gateway has done so much damage. Oh my goodness. Obviously 19 drones are still up. He's on 4 hatcheries still. 1 of his hatcheries is off center, but he can still mine properly off of these 3 patches here. And this is what iRk need. They need Dewalt to step up against someone like ZeLoT if they want to beat SouL. And Dewalt definitely showing why he's so strong, but this is far from over. ZeLoT has played from very weird situations before, and even being incredibly far behind, he can win. Now there is another DT coming in. Is he going to be able to get the drone before he dies? Yes, he is. The Corsair going to be able to not kill any of the DTs, but he's actually running away to his gateways. So I don't really agree with that. But ZeLoT doesn't see them. He should know though. Now the Hydras at the front have been cleaned up. There's still no... Wait, has he rebuilt his Hydra Den? Yes, he has. Hydra Den up in the natural. Lurkers are coming in as well. +1 attack is just about to finish. So that'll give him a nice little bit of a damage boost. ZeLoT definitely isn't out of the game. If anyone can come back from a scrappy situation, it's him. Now, in terms of what Dewalt actually has back at home, he's not got much. He's got some Storm, and he's got some ZeLoTs. The gateways have been found, so these are both going to go down. But obviously, ZeLoT can't run in without an Overlord to make sure he doesn't die. Pylon being focused first. He doesn't want any DTs to pop out and start doing damage to him again. And look at Dewalt going for a hidden third base. Dewalt is trying to out ZeLoT here. This is the sort of move that ZeLoT would make. Oh yes, here we have it. We have a Dark Archon, one of my favorite units in the game, along with the Ghost. Severely underutilized in PvZ. It's getting more use recently, but Maelstrom is such a good spell. Feedback is incredible in late game, and yeah, the Maelstrom will be used in case of drops as well. Fuifyu saying he doesn't think he's ever heard of ZeLoT before. ZeLoT is an ASL qualified amateur from South Korea. He's Korean. He qualified for the ASL twice, got into the round of 24 both times. I don't think he made it to the round of 16, but ZeLoT actually scouting the hidden base. Dewalt not going to get away with that against ZeLoT for sure. Yeah, ZeLoT is a really good player. Now ZeLoT has recovered. ZeLoT took so much damage from the DTs. But look at him now, he's got 40 drones. He's nearly up in supply on Dewalt. Dewalt spent a lot of money on those DTs. And they killed a good number of drones, they killed some tech. But they didn't win the game. And that's the power of Zerg. People underestimate how good Zerg actually is in ZvP, I think, sometimes. Like, when you've got 4 or 5 hatcheries, if you've got money to rebuild drones, you can come back in the game. As long as you don't lose all of your drones and you've still got a decent number, like you saved about 19 of them. That gives you enough economy to rebuild your drones very quickly. And because Dewalt spent so much money on those DTs, it meant that he didn't have much in terms of army that he could push behind it. Now obviously the big thing is, with PvZ it's usually the follow-up attack that can win you the game. But Dewalt's army's not looking that great. He does have +1 attack. There's no third base. There's no hive yet for ZeLoT. He doesn't have a Queen's Nest either. So Dewalt still isn't a good place. Okay, this is when that Dark Archon is going to be important. The Dark Archon is way too far back though. He needs the Dark Archon here so he can go for a Maelstrom. Look at this, we're going to have a shuttle seeing the Overlords. Can the Maelstrom come in before they... Yes, he can! He gets the Maelstrom on the Overlords before they can drop. One of them has dropped. There needs to be more units to clean these up though. The second Overlords come out of the Maelstrom though, and a lot of the units come out here. That could have been an amazing play, but he didn't have enough units to defend his base. And all of a sudden, he's got Lurkers in his main, and there is an observatory, there's a cannon. But he's going to have to clean up the units, and this is going to give time for ZeLoT on the left-hand side of the map to go and kill the Nexus. That could have been a Pimpist play, but Maelstrom does not last long enough. A little bit unfortunate, but he does clean up the drop. That is definitely a lot better than it could have been. Nice storms in the middle of the map to try and get some of these lurkers, but taking a lot of damage. Still no third base. And ZeLoT showing why he's so damn good. He's not going to stop the drops. Oh, he's actually unloading from his Overlord, so he is going to stop the drops for now. But here we go. Looks like Dewalt going to move into a position to clear up the lurkers in the middle of the map. This is very, very important. He cannot afford to let the Zerg get too many lurkers, or it makes it impossible to push. Can he get on top of these eggs? If he can kill the eggs before the lurkers morph, this is going to be an incredible position for him. He's got a lot of storm energy. Can he get there in time? The ZeLoT's getting on top. Here comes the storm. He gets the Hydras before they morph, and he cancels it. There's Hydras coming in from behind, though. It's ZeLoTs and Dragoons against nothing but Hydras. And Hydra's a pretty good unit here, but Dewalt definitely in a good spot, killing a lot of the army. Dewalt is going to take, or sorry, ZeLoT's going to take a while to rebuild this. He's going to get 2 of the Overlords that were getting ready to drop. But there we go. It's definitely looking good for Dewalt so far. Definitely a good game on the cards here. Dewalt showing why he's so damn good as well. I said the same about ZeLoT. But Dewalt needs to expand. That is the problem. ZeLoT is on 3 bases. He can go for a mineral only here if he wants to, but doesn't look like he's too worried about that. Yeah, Dewalt is getting close to mined out in his main. His natural is still very, very healthy, so that's not a problem. But he has to secure this base. This base is going to be very important, and he needs this base as well. Like, he's going to try and take control of the middle of the map, and if you can do that, you block the Zerg from getting the 6 o'clock base and the 8 o'clock base for free, so it's very, very important to hold this position. But you cannot let the Zerg into your main base, and oh my god, is he going to be able to Maelstrom again? He's got Storm here. Looks like ZeLoT is just in range. Here we go. Maelstrom, Maelstrom, Maelstrom. There we go. There goes the Storm. This could be the big decider. A huge amount of damage coming in. All the Overlords exploding. ZeLoT's supply plummeting there in the middle of the map. And it looks like ZeLoT was trying to push forward at the same time, but the small army getting cleaned up. That is a highlight moment right there. What a Maelstrom. Playing this map perfectly is Dewalt. ZeLoT trying to expand, but he is up against a big army now, and it's going to be very difficult to see whether or not he can hold on. Looks like Dewalt's Observer a little bit far back, so he does need to be careful. There's a lot of lurkers still. But there we go, nice storm on the Hydras at the top. The High Templar even surviving. Dewalt is such a good player. It really does amaze me how good he is. We've not got any more storms, so he does need to be careful. Sorry, he has 1 more storm here. He doesn't want to throw the game. That is the important thing. He's going to secure his base. He's going to play it as carefully as possible. Because even though the Protoss can kill all of the Zerg's army, that's going to be it. Like, you can still throw the game. Now here we go. Looks like we are going to have Dewalt pushing forward. He was waiting for a few more reinforcements. He's got a lot of storm coming in behind here. Drones have been pulled away. They were trying to transfer, or they are transferring over to the other base, but the base has actually been taken down. Sorry about this. I did miss this, but he does manage to take that down. Dewalt is in such a good spot. It's going to take a miracle for ZeLoT to win here. Okay, I'm not sure about that storm, but I guess he's using area denial, suppressive fire. Another storm coming down on the Hydras. Looks like Dewalt's done it again. The miracle toss strikes with another miracle. And there we have it. GG. ZeLoT taps out and Dewalt takes game number 3. Okay, SouL are in the lead, 2-1. Dewalt with a fantastic win against ZeLoT with one of probably like the best plays I've seen in the STPL. We do have iRk with a chance to take us to an ace match here. Up here for iRk is going to be Trutacz, one of the best Zerg players outside of South Korea. He is ranked 37 in the STPL. He hasn't done as amazing as Dewalt has. Dewalt definitely doing a lot better in the STPL. But Trutacz is still a damn good player. And look at his versus Protoss win percentage. Look at his win percentage against Protoss. It's 87% over 12 games. That is crazy! Trutacz is a ZvP god in the STPL, only in his last 10 games losing to Yangachi, which was a very, very close game. I think that was in the iRk versus Valhalla team semi-finals, if I remember correctly. But either way, his opponent going to be the #1 ranked player in the STPL. He's got a whopping 88% win rate overall, and a 75% win rate over Zerg, but over much fewer games. He's won 9 of his last 10 games, and did lose to Chonsa, I think that was, on Multiverse. That's the only game he's lost against Zerg in a while, so let's see how it's going to go. Obviously, rank 1 is a pretty big deal. nOOB, the king of the STPL, but not with nearly as many wins as Dewalt has. Dewalt definitely been a more consistent player. But let's have a look at the map we're going to be going into. It is going to be Blindside. Blindside, one of the maps made by Minerals. Very, very fun map. We've had some very good games here so far. And Zerg have actually won all 3. Okay, Zerg have won 3 games, and VIR lost to Eriador in the last series. So it's 3-1 in favor of Zerg. Can Trutacz ride that big wave into the ace match, or is nOOB going to keep hold of his crown and win in game number 4? Let's find out. Let's go. Okay, starting us here in the 12 o'clock position, we have the red Protoss player fighting for SouL. It's nOOB. And spawning down here in the 6 o'clock position, we have in the pink, fighting for iRk, fighting with his team's life on the line. It's Trutacz. Now, one interesting statistic that you may want to know is Trutacz has probably got more experience on this map than most players. He was involved in playtesting Blindside before the final submission to STPL. So he's got a few games on here under his belt. Map experience definitely comes into it a lot. nOOB, of course, is a very good player. Trutacz, a very good player as well. Trutacz, one of the best foreign Zerg players. And overall, just, I mean, with iRk, like, iRk's roster, when you, like, there are other really good foreign players on the other teams as well. Like, obviously, Koga on, Koga and Zero on Net Wars and things like that, and Yeti as well in the STPL. But iRk, when you look at them, they're kind of like the best of the best outside of South Korea that aren't already on teams. They've recently just picked up G5 as well, G5 Media, and they've picked up Hawk. So they've got another Protoss player and a Zerg player as well. Hawk, you may remember him from, he used to be on Quantic. He played in the Zotac Cup in America. Yeah, and Rota saying that give it 2 years and iRk will be the only team in the thing. Thank you, Rick James, for the sub. Means a lot, man. But yeah, iRk have been tearing it up in BWCL as well. They came second last season of STPL, only losing to SouL in the finals. They did lose, I think they lost 5-0, or like 5... What? They do. I can't remember what the score was, but the games were very, very close. Like, it wasn't... The score sheet does not represent how the games went. Like, it was one-sided on the score sheet. But there we go. Weefy thing picked up. Well, when I say they've picked up, they've added them to the roster. They do practice as a team, yeah. It's not like especially with the foreign teams like iRk, Naz, ReV, Red. Those teams especially will practice together. SouL practice together as well. Dandy has done a lot of practice with Scan in the past. I don't know how much Naz actually play together, but I know they play together a little bit. But definitely Red, ReV, and iRk do practice. They have iRk have in-house tournaments as well, so they get a lot of practice with each other. G5 and Hawk, both very, very good players, but obviously going back to this game, we have Trutacz on his third hatchery now. I wonder if we'll see him try and go for a bit of what ZeLoT did in the last game, or if he's going to go for, no, he's going to play a little bit more standard, going for his lair. We've got nOOB just going for a gate expand. Nothing really too out of the ordinary for here. Okay, we've got a single Ling from Trutacz. Testing the waters, going to go in and scout, see if there's any cannons. The probe, obviously going to be taken down eventually here, but with the lair finishing up. Trutacz has a few options available for him. Trutacz has gone for Mutalisks in ZvP before, but I don't think we'll see him go for it against nOOB, although nOOB, his Stargate is a little bit late. Well, maybe it's not late, but I mean, it all depends on how many Corsairs he goes for. If anything, he's probably going for 2 Scourge to begin with, and then sort of diverge from there. But if he has a few other options, he doesn't have to go for... This will be a Spire, but we'll have to see how it goes from there. The probe's still alive, 4 minutes 40, doing a pretty good job keeping that alive. But Trutacz really didn't build too many Lings. I think throughout this he built 1 set of Lings with the second set now, and you can tell from the drone count that he was able to do that. Look at how many drones he's got. He's nearly got as many drones as the Protoss has probes at 5 minutes. That is not something that normally happens. Okay, we've got extra pylon coming in, Cybercore, or Citadel coming in. I keep calling the Citadel the Cybercore for some reason. But Trutacz's macro is really starting to kick in here. He's going to have 3 pretty well saturated bases with the 23 drones. If he gets up to 27, he's going to have pretty much a drone per mineral patch, which is perfect. No second gas yet, so I don't think it's going to be Mutalisks, at least for now. The first Corsair is coming in, has not managed to find a single Overlord just yet, but he is going to be able to scout with it, so that's kind of important. You'll see the Spire finish up. Now, of course, to remember, if Trutacz can win here, we'll be having an ace match for iRk and SouL, and I don't think outside of the 2 finals that SouL played in, they may have ever been taken to an ace match before. So that would be very exciting. I'm very excited about iRk's prospects here. Obviously, you can't count nOOB out. He is #1 rank in the STPL for a reason. He has won an obscene amount of games. Not as many as Dewalt, but his win percentage is slightly higher. And he's won against some slightly better players, although I don't actually think that's true anymore. So Dewalt has taken down both Shine and ZeLoT, who are 2 of the best Zerg players in Korea now. That's really impressive. There we go, one of the Corsairs goes down, the Overlord goes down as well, but that's definitely a win for Trutacz. The Corsairs coming in behind this, the Scourge coming in behind this to try and get the Corsairs. Very nicely done by Trutacz so far. Trutacz is of course supply blocked, so that does happen. We've got Overlord speed coming in, very normal upgrade. We've got a creep colony, so he is going to start his wall. His 4th and 5th hatchery are done. Sorry, no, he's got his... Yeah, 5th hatchery. 5th hatchery is done. The one interesting thing I'm wondering is how Trutacz is going to choose to take his 4th base. I think we saw 0 expand here against Tech, although I think it was here because they were reversed. We've got a lot of ZeLoTs heading in over here to the 4th base, or to the 3rd base even. There is a Sunken. There is Lings in the middle line to help defend against this. And nOOB is immediately going to divert. He doesn't want to deal with that. But the SimCity here from Trutacz is very impressive. Like, he's not going to take any damage to ZeLoTs, I don't think. And that's perfect. This is looking the best way it could possibly look for Trutacz right now. Now, nOOB back at home, he's developing Storm. He's going for his 3rd gateway. Going for his 4th gateway as well, going to add his 5th and probably 6th. Now, will he go for 7 gate? Because if he goes for 7 gate, that means we could have a 2-base push coming in. Okay, so we've got the army moving across the map here for Trutacz. nOOB doesn't actually have that many units, so Trutacz is in a good position to do a little bit of damage here. There's a lot of Hydras. Trutacz's supply is crazy good right now. He's up at 72 against 96. He's going to be killing essentially 3 ZeLoTs. There's only a single cannon back here. Now, the one problem, the great equalizer, as always, is going to be Storm. And there is 3 Storms available here, so he cannot afford to lose these Hydras. But the trouble is, while this is going on, we've got the Corsairs coming in, some ZeLoTs coming in for a counter. Looks like no Storms used yet, so Trutacz hasn't played too aggressive. ZeLoTs have been batted away like the flies, the persistent, annoying flies they are. And Zerg is in a very good position right now. nOOB is going to find it very difficult to try and take a 3rd base, but if there's anyone who's going to be able to do it, it's #1 rank in the STPL. Lurker upgrade is done though, and this is when things start to get problematic for the Protoss, because we are going to have a Lurker contained set up here unless nOOB can break out now, and that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get in before the Lurker upgrade's done. Looks like a nice Storm. Trutacz dropping the ball a little bit on his Hydra control. And very nice chasing Storms there. This is such a good engagement for nOOB. Trutacz losing a lot of Hydras. He should just pull fully back. He is not going to be able to fight this anymore. He has to go back to the forest for protection. These grey blocks, if you don't know what they are, work as vision blockers. Trutacz is going to expand in the same pattern that Zero did. Looks like nOOB has actually blocked the exit of one of his gateways. This, yeah, he can't build Dragoons on this gateway. That's very, very unfortunate, but the pylon is blocking the Dragoons from spawning, so that was some wasted minerals. I don't know if you get the minerals back if it doesn't spawn. Okay, it looks like we've got another big engagement coming in here. There is Storms, but they're not being used on the Lurkers. But that's because he is in a pretty good spot without this. So much Storm damage coming down on the units here. There's not many Storms left though, and there's a lot of Lurkers left over. So he is going to be able to defend the line here. And it should mean that nOOB shouldn't be able to push too much farther forward. But nOOB only needs to hold this spot so he can take his expansion. But Trutacz doing a pretty good job baiting the units back towards the Lurkers, but here comes the Observers. He cannot kill the Observers right now, so with the Overlord going down, that's definitely not going to happen. Trutacz is going to fall back, but he is losing a lot of money, a lot of units that he could have used to defend his bases here. The vision blockers essentially make your unit's vision range 1. It doesn't do anything to the attack. But you can see it here. So when Trutacz runs through here, or sorry, when nOOB runs through here, he can't see anything. And we'll zoom back in now. The engagement is over. I keep seeing a lot of people asking where people are from. The reason there's actually flags in the top left of the screen, so you can tell. Okay, looks like we do have Corsairs moving around on the left-hand side. Asker asking, melee doesn't care, it just attacks closest anyway. That is true, but if the melee units can't see the other units, then you can't do it. But yeah, nOOB is semi-pro. He used to be Adjunct 12. I can't remember what team he was on, but there we go. Okay, another Overlord going to go down. Looks like we've got nOOB heading on over to the 4th base here of Dewalt. This is going to be, of Trutacz even. This is going to be a relatively easy place for nOOB to be able to attack into. There's no lurkers here. We do have a little bit of SimCity coming up, so Trutacz does know that it's possible that anything can go on. Pro players are allowed to play in the STPL. We've had Shine play, we've had Best, we've had Mind, we've had Action. And I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Shine lost as well, so it's not invincible, but here we go. Looks like we do have nOOB pushing in. Trutacz definitely struggling a little bit. This is a very small corridor, and all of the Hydras are getting taken out by Storm here. Trutacz isn't doing too bad. He does have some Sunkens up now. So there we go. With an Archon coming in at the front as well, this is going to kill the remaining Hydras. Hydra's definitely not good against Archons when they're in melee range. Now let's see how the supplies are affected after that. We've got nOOB up just over 40 supply here, so Trutacz still not doing terribly, but nOOB is getting his 4th base now. Trutacz did lose a lot of units for that to happen. He's nearly even on drones to his opponent's probes, so that is a very good place to be, but he has to defend, he has to win an engagement, and that is going to be tough. Looks like we do have the Protoss trying to push up onto the high ground. Nice usage of the lurkers, nice usage of the high ground, but Trutacz doesn't have many units. He's only got 40 supply in Hydras, and that means his lurkers are going to die on the high ground. And that means his 4th base is going to be in trouble again. But here we have a big drop coming into the main base here. And nOOB's army is nowhere near in a place to defend. But Trutacz's base is in a lot of trouble as well. He's got three hatcheries over here that are very, very important. It's the heartland of the Zerg's production right now. Storm going down on the drones, not escaping with the drones for some reason. The Sunken is going to go down, but of course the main base is a very, very contentious point for the Protoss. It looks like a lot of the Hydras have been cleaned up though, and Trutacz is going to give up. GG, Trutacz taps out, nOOB wins game number 4, and SouL wins series, win their 3rd series in a row? Yeah, let's head on over to the results. Let's have the win for nOOB there. Unfortunately, Trutacz was in a good spot, but like many before him, he fell to the power of the king of the STPL, nOOB, holding on to his 1st place position in the STPL. nOOB very, very strong, of course. Trutacz did his best, but he just took a few engagements that went horrifically wrong. And Trutacz could have won. Dewalt beat ZeLoT, of course. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles in PvZ. If you can get the good storms, you can win the game, and he definitely got the good storms there. If anyone clipped any of those, that would be very, very useful. But realistically, SouL, they've been shown they can bleed before. I mean, iRk's roster could have easily beat SouL here today. They came close. OyAji came close against Hero, but then just went... Okay, so to explain the situation between iRk and SouL, vOddy and Scan was probably the one... So every single game here, iRk could have won. So essentially, Scan versus vOddy, it came down to vOddy not being... Well, he delayed Siege too long. He played a little bit too aggressive. He didn't get any... basically, he went for 2-port Wraith, and that was fine. But then the problem was, after that, he didn't have a follow-up, and that happened. OyAji nearly took down Hero, but then sat in tank range a little bit too much with goons and lost a lot of his units. He was still in a good spot, but gave up. Then we had Dewalt versus who was he facing? I have completely forgotten. He played against ZeLoT. And of course, when you play against someone like ZeLoT, that's obviously a very good player to play against, and he won. He beat him. SouL can bleed, and iRk are so close to coming to a point where they can consistently beat them. They just need a little bit more time. They need a little bit more practice. And I think we could see the next time iRk and SouL meet, iRk could take down SouL. I genuinely, truly believe that. And that's because at the end of the day, I am a fan of good games. And that's what we have. Thank you, Daddy Fear, for the raid. Unfortunately, we are about to end the stream, but let's head on over. It was a 3-1 victory for SouL, of course. That is how it goes. That is the way the cookie crumbles. But we had some incredible games today. Red versus ReV was a little bit more one-sided, I would say. Red coming out on top there. SouL versus iRk, though. Every single game was good. Every game was close. And Dewalt versus ZeLoT had one of the coolest Dark Archon moves I have seen in a very, very long time. So good to see iRk putting a really, really good effort in. Great to see you all enjoying the STPL. I saw someone say the skill level in this tour is higher than I thought. Well, I'm glad you found out just how damn good the games are in the STPL, because I wouldn't be running it anymore if the games were bad, because I would have got bored a long, long time ago. But thanks to all the wonderful players and the captains who have been playing this entire time, 9 of our 10 teams in this season have been playing in the STPL since Season 1. It's been 3 years, and they're still going at it. And that is because they are all incredibly good players. They're all incredibly, incredibly dedicated to their teams as well. And we have had some incredible games. So thank you to our sponsors, Esport Fund, for making this possible, donating $1,000 to our prize pool, the community contributions we've had so far, as well as the code for MasterReY, which is STPL S4. If you can go over to the MasterReY link that hopefully Lucky Noob will be able to put in the chat in just a second, then you will find you can add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. Let's see if we can beat our $2,000 goal we had from last season, and let's see if we can make this the biggest prize pool we've had in the STPL so far. We've got a lot of time left in the season, lots of good series coming up as well, and I will be back on Monday for some more STPL action. Don't miss out, it's going to be great. You guys next week. Here's that moment where doing the whole VR thing doesn't work. But I'll see you guys very, very soon. If you're watching this, you're watching the STPL. Hopefully you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. If you want to help me make more STPL content to bring more tournaments to you, please support us on Patreon, which you can find up here. And also, there's so many different things you can get through Patreon. One of the main and one of the easiest ones to get is, of course, access to all of the replays of the STPL so far. We've had some amazing games, such as some of the games you can see just over here.